Hey guys, this is Soumya from Bookfeast channel. Today we are going to see on the topic A Day in 2889 of an American journalist, and it is written by Jules Verne. So from the topic we can know that we are going to see about a journalist who is basically an American, and it talks about the future incident. When you go for Jules Verne, he was born in the year 1828 and he was passed in the year 1905. He is a French poet, playwright and as well as a novelist. And he is the father of science fiction. He is known for his futuristic adventure novels and many of his predictions have came true. So from this story, let's see what are the predictions that were true or what were the predictions that were not true. When you talk about timing of the particular play, it deals with the people of 29th century, particularly a date 25 July 2889. We may have a doubt, why come the writer has chosen this particular date? Because he is at the present state, he is examining about the future, which may be 1000 years ago. What would be the result of the world after 1000 years? That's the reason he has 1000 years to the up to the date when he started writing this play. The story. And when you go for the place, he states people were living in the fairyland. Because instead of living with the nature, people started living with the natural world. So you may have a doubt, what is nature and what is natural? Nature is something which is naturally created, and natural is something which is created by man, which is basically a man-made. For example, when you talk about nature, mountain can be the suitable example. When you talk about natural, garden is not basically a born thing out of nature. It is created by the human being stating its nature. So that's the difference. And particularly the office block of the managing editor of the Earth Helen. So it is a main place. It talks about life of a particular person who seems to be the protagonist of the short story. So protagonist is none other than with whom this whole story revolves seems to be the protagonist. And when you talk about the characters, Mr. Francis Bennett and his wife Mrs. Francis Bennett, Jovians refers to the people of Jupiter in Roman mythology. And reporters, there are 1500 reporters, but here only two were specifically given, Cash and Carly, and Aero Coachman. So these are the characters. Before getting into the story, we just want to know about the certain words. Phonotelephone. So phonotelephone is nothing but a machine which helps in transmitting and receiving both the voice and the picture for a personal conversation. Literally the mobile phone. And also Champs-Élysées. So Champs-Élysées is a precious avenue in Paris which is very popular for cave. And people of Paris, their only ambition is to live life happily up to the least. So this seems to be the icon. And when you go for the next word, phototelegrams. So telegram, the telegraphic transmission which includes photo, which includes image in it, are called phototelegrams. And Centropolis. So Centropolis, center, New York being the center of America. So New York, in this story, Centropolis is a name given predicting that it would be the future name for New York. So we may have analyzed that what were the predictions which were done by the Jules Verne that it would happen in the future. We'll go one by one in the story, and I just like to see all your comments that whether the prediction has been a true one or just an fluke one or maybe a fake one. Just mention it in the comment section. So there is a man who lives in the 29th century. His one day life has been predicted as a old story. So he is a man of machine based life. He's wake up in the morning, he is very bad tempered. So in order to make his mood normal, he makes a call to his wife. He met his wife before 8 days, and at present he is calling his wife through phonotelephone. So phonotelephone is very popular during the time, in the future. After speaking to his wife, he felt relaxed and he goes for dressing. When he goes to the dressing room, he was automatically dressed up by the machine where it ties his collar and it makes him wear the button. It dresses him up to a perfect, genuine, manly, handsome man. And he comes out of it and he goes to his office where he finds lots and lots of reporters. When you talk about numbers, it is nearly 1500 reporters. They were gathered together and they were discussing about something which is very peculiar. They were very egoistic with the communicators and they started communicating with the people in many ways. Suddenly, he questions an astronomical reporter where he states, "Well, Cash, what have you got? So, what was the result of your work?" He started raising one of the reporter who is named Cash. And Cash answers that phonotelegrams from Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So I have got a telegram from Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So again he questions, "Oh, it's very interesting. Then what about Jupiter?" And he says, "I hope so. There is no human in the Jupiter. I am not getting any signal." Suddenly he says, "How come you can tell? You can assure it. You can tell maybe, but you can't assure it. So how come do you tell that?" There enters the other reporter who is named Carley. So he says, "No, it's inhabited. No, people are there." Where? In moon. So in moon, people are there. Now the discussion shifts from Mars to moon, and finally here also the confusion takes place. So he says, "Well, this time you can't blame optional service. The man is 600 times nearer than Mars. In it, our correspondence service is in the regular operation with Mars. It can't be telescopes we need. So, when you compare the Mars and the moon is very nearer. Then why do we want telescope? Can't you make it clear?" So he says, "No, it is very much difficult." So he gives an idea to turn the moon round so that they can get. So they are planning to turn the moon. That is the natural satellite. They are with the mechanical usage. They are making it to turn. So they have found a new element which is titled new planet Gandhini. It is at the distance of many a meter, 7 diameters, and how much year it takes to orbit the sun. I hope so you can see all that information from the screen. I mean in the video. And they started explaining, "Oh, good, very good, you are making a good job, this is good, that is good." They are keep on getting appreciation. Suddenly, the scene goes to the next room. It is a broad gallery with gigantic signs, and people here assembled with 1,000 projects, more than 1,000 projects, which talk about this scientific knowledge. And Francis, he wanted to have his lunch. He's planning to have his lunch with his wife, not in the facing face to face. He wanted to make a video call. So literally it is not video call here. They have mentioned the word phonotelephonate, phonotelephone. And it was about 12. He was making a move. He wanted to go to Niagara, and he hires an aero coachman, and he goes through the aero car. When he reaches there, it is also mentioned the speed, how fast it can go. It can reach 400 miles an hour, but it is very expensive. And he goes there and he gets up with the many work. At 5 o'clock he reaches there. And here comes Centropolis and Philadelphia. Philadelphia is nothing but Boston. So he reaches that place at 5 o'clock, and he was waiting for the upcoming professor. And he started questioning everything, where a person began, "Sir, though the number of elements used to be estimated at 75, it has now been reduced to 3. So he says, so the element 75 has been reduced to 3. He was appreciating, Francis was appreciating him. And again he says, "I can make the 3 to 1. So he wanted to make the 3 to 1. He says, "Absolutely, you can have a try." And what about the new discovery? They were making the result for the discovery. And the man says to Francis, "It will be to make the creation of all forms of matter easy: stone, wood, metal, fabric." So we can make every form. They have listed things: stone, wood, metal, and fibrin. We can make all these things. So there is no any problem. And here it comes up with the introduction. Francis is the young fellow to the scientific editorial department of this particular journal, and is working in this journal. Now the conversation deals between himself and his wife. He started questioning his wife when she'll be back. Her name is Edith. So she says that she can be back. She is starting to prepare for her journey, and she can be back as soon as possible. And he questions, "By tube or aerotrain? You'll be coming by tube or by aerotrain?" She says, "I'll be coming by tube." And then he started asking, "What will be the timing?" She says, 11:59. So see the accuracy of the time. They are giving within the accuracy 11:59. And he's asked standardizing question, "Is it 11:59 in Paris time or in the New York, that is Centropolis time?" She says, no, it is Centropolis time." Then he was very much disappointed because he couldn't accompany his wife today also. And he says goodbye and he keeps up his call. And here they talks about the distance covered by the tube and also the aero train. So tube is submarine tube. It takes 295 minutes to reach from New York to Paris. And when you talk about aero train, it manages about 600 miles an hour. And even the food we eat is transferred only by the machine, by the tubes. Instead, people they started preferring the hotel at present. But when you go for the future, Jules Verne predicts that people will automatically serve food to their home through the tubes. And he says that there were no home cooking. There were no